Hi, it's Kari Mathews of Prairie Quilting. Today we are in the middle of our Quilt Along Land That I Love, and we're working on our third star right here. It's a version of the Lemoyne star. So grab a pattern. It's available through my website, prairiequilting.com, and get your fabrics. The ones I used are nice and scrappy. I used American Valor, this nice red tonal print by Cheryl Haynes, and Liberty Whites, that's the background, and Celebrate the USA by Canvas Studio. So that's our fireworks and star prints. And then Red, White, and Sweet by Nicole DeCamp. And so we have the ginghams and the plaids and another nice star print here. So let's go ahead and get started. But first, let's ask the question of the day is, have you participated in a 4th of July parade, and how did you do that? So were you on a float? Were you in a band? And you know what? Don't make it just 4th, just any parade, okay? I participated in a parade when I was probably 5th or 6th grade, and my dad had an old MG that he'd restored. And my sister and I got to ride along in this tiny little town parade. So it was just a fun memory, just real small town parade, riding along there with my dad and my sister. And so I want to hear yours. So post it in the comments here or on the hashtag Land That I Love, QAL, in Instagram, and show me your block too. I want to see that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we are going to be making strip sets, and for our first strip set, we are going to be doing that dark red and that blue star, okay? Okay, and then we're doing a second strip set with the same 2 to start with, okay? So 2 of the same colors. All right, so to one of the strip sets, the red and the blue, we are going to add the light blue. And the red should be in the middle. Okay, and to the other strip, we're going to add this white star, okay? Also, the red is in the middle here as well. All right, and to press these strip sets, we're going to press away from the white on this one strip. Okay, and I'll go in the same direction here. Okay, so we're going to just press that. We're trying to keep them as straight as possible, okay? We don't want it to distort them. Okay, and for this strip set with the light blue, we're going toward the light blue. So we're trying to press these in opposite directions so that the seams will create the least amount of bulk, okay? So we're gonna go all the way down the strip. All right, so we have a couple different strip sets made, and now we're gonna go ahead and cut some elongated diamonds out of them. Okay, so we are going to cut some diamonds out of our strips, okay? So you can do it a couple ways. You can use a diamond cutting ruler, okay? So we can go ahead. I would suggest using the template just as a guide to make sure you're getting the right size, okay? So we'll line that up and we'll give it a cut here. Okay, and I am right-handed, so I'm coming around the other side here. We need 4 of each of these strips. Okay, and you could make more than 1 block out of this strip, these strips here. Okay, and then for the other strip set here, we're gonna go opposite, and it's the reverse of the template, see? Okay, so I have put some tape on there and like rolled it up, or you could use double-sided sticky tape just to kind of hold the template in place. So I'll be cutting 4 of this template as well, okay? So we'll move on down and cut the other side as well. Okay, so there's 1, and then we'll just move it down. Okay, and here's using the diamond ruler. Okay, and one more. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and trim around the engineered corners on around the template here so that I can line everything up, okay? So I'm just using the template as a guide, and I will do this for all of the diamonds, okay? And you could trace around it too if you'd like. Okay, so now let's add the half square triangle units to these diamond shapes, okay? And because we squared off those, or did those engineered corners, we know where to start. Okay, so we'll line those up. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and clip off the corners before we press. All right, and to press these, I'm going to go in the same direction that I went for the strip set, okay? So the strip set's going this way, I'm gonna press it this way. That will just keep things simplified. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add the other half square triangles to the other side of the strip, okay? And here we go. We're gonna just go ahead and now we're gonna match these up. The corners should be hanging out the same amount on both sides, okay? And that's, I'm just gonna eyeball that. All right, so we'll do the same. So before we did the short side of the triangle, but now we're doing the hypotenuse or the long side, okay? And here we go, one last one. I put my needle down. And we are dealing with bias edges here, so just be careful not to tug and pull on this fabric. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clip off all these corners before I press. All right, and for pressing, I am gonna go ahead and go toward the strip set on these. I'm doing that because I want the other strip set, we're gonna go the opposite direction. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and trim off these engineered corners as well. So I'm just kind of using my template as a guide here. You could trace it as well and do it that way. I'm just kind of holding it in place. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put a half square triangle with these diamonds. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and match this up and we're gonna sew it from this direction. Okay, so get those laid out. All right, let's go ahead and sew. Okay, and for pressing, we're gonna go with the way we've done the strip set. So toward that white triangle in this case. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and add these half square triangles to the, we're gonna do the hypotenuse again, okay? So we're eyeballing, there we go. And lay that down. Okay, let's sew. And I'm clipping off the corners before we even start pressing. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and go toward that triangle. Okay, so now we're going to put these into these two triangles together, okay? And we have nested the seams, so let's see here. When I match these up, we should have nesting seams pretty much all the way down. So we have these seams to nest, so do these. And this is why we went opposite directions. Okay, so there's one. And we're just going to do that with all of these. Just go ahead and nest all of those seams. Okay, and last one. Okay, let's go ahead and sew. Okay, now can you see here we've got, I don't know, a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch off, and that's just okay. It'll be in the seam allowance. Okay, and we're gonna just go toward the darker strip, the one without the white stars in it. Okay, and we'll just press toward that one side for all of these. All right, and let's go ahead and clip the corners. All right, so now we have a really fancy 4-patch, okay? So what we're gonna do is just go ahead and connect those up, and we have pressed the seams opposite directions, so we're nesting those seams again, okay? So the corners and those diagonal seams, okay? Same here. Let's go ahead and nest those seams. All right, let's go ahead and sew. Okay, and for pressing, I'm going to go ahead and go toward this white, actually. And the same on this one, okay? If we do them both the same, they will nest. Okay, and our last seam of the block here. We're nesting the diagonal seams again. The center one. All right, let's go sew. All right, and our last press here. And pick a direction. It doesn't really matter at this point. All right, there is star 3. All right, we finished our block, and I love to hear your answer to the question, have you been in a parade? What did you do in the parade? Any parade, you know what? 4th of July, whatever. But so I'd love to hear what you've done, and put it in the comments here or on the hashtag at Instagram, Land That I Love, QAL. I hope to see you next time. Take care.